Hi and welcome to another edition of Onside SA, where we always start off with last one standing, Budge and I. And Budge, it was a week where a lot of people got through.
Yeah, a lot of people got lucky.
Yeah.
Mainly Man United boys, Arsenal last minute, Crystal Palace last minute.
Yeah, a lot of people. It's still a long way to go. But let's just quickly talk about them. People went through in Man United, 20 odd or something.
Yeah.
Arsenal went through, and 16 went out.
Yeah.
43 left. And just looking at the betting to see who's going to win it, Mark Curry and Sean Phillips, 3 teams each.
Done well to get 6 weeks, Paul.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, Freddie Cochran, Trevor Furry, 2.
Yeah.
Sean Matthews and Dean Moody and Eric Nairek.
Yeah, Eric squeaked through Southampton.
Budge, I've got one team left.
Yeah.
And I've got through with Everton
yeah.
and Crystal Palace during my run. I'm going to be climbing on Chelsea.
Well, everyone is available. Last week, if you hadn't used United, they were using them.
Yeah.
This week, if you haven't used Chelsea, you're going to use Chelsea.
Yeah, it looks like that. But let's speak to Stevie B first. We've got our pundit overseas. There's things are happening. Stevie, are you on the line? Stevie, can you hear us, Steve?
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Hi, morning.
Morning, Steve. Budge and I in the studio. We got obviously a few things to talk to you about. And first things, the merry-go-round at who's in charge of who. What about Big Sam?
Well, I mean, he was watching from the stands last night. Whether or not he could take any credit for their performance and their 4-0 well, I'm not sure. But I guess him being there, I know he's not the most sort of popular appointment, but if nothing else, he will sort of get them playing a certain way. And they've obviously got some young talented players, and I wouldn't be at all surprised that they'll sort of fight their way out of trouble.
Yeah, you see Rooney playing in the midfield.
He did. I mean, obviously, he got an early penalty, missed the penalty. They got the follow-up, but a hat trick.
Yeah.
So after being dropped for a couple of games, I think that would be good for his confidence and for the team as well. Yeah,
I've got a couple of Evertonian mates. They're not happy with Big Sam. They just don't like the style. They think they're a bigger club than Sam Allardyce, but you just got to get out the trouble.
I think you're right, Budgie, but I think for him, this is about as big a club as he could probably get now in the Premier League. So,
yeah. And in fairness, he did a good job at Bolton, didn't he? They ran 5th and 6th, got it to Europa League a couple of times.
He did. He did a very good job at Bolton, and I think that's obviously since then it's sort of been obviously had a very very difficult time at Newcastle, and it did okay at Palace obviously until he got the call for England. Yeah.
The other guy, Alan Pardew, West Brom.
Yeah, it looks like it. They've been talking about it for a week or so. I thought it was going to be a done deal last weekend. I mean, he's had... It's very interesting. Wherever he goes, he tends to start off well. He did the same at West Ham and at Newcastle and Palace. For whatever reason, these things just seem to drop away. But again, they've had a couple of decent results this week. They had a good draw at Tottenham.
At Wembley.
Which I think would be good for their confidence.
Yeah. All right, Steve, on the Championship, your boys Fulham slowly coming right?
Yeah, it was a very, very scrappy game against Millwall. I mean, they sort of... The one shining light for the week was that we kept a clean sheet, which is the first one at home since January. We've got a difficult trip to Brentford on Saturday, London derby, always quite a tight affair. But so after that, we're playing teams generally in and around the bottom half of the table for the next sort of month or so. So I think by the new year we'll have an idea whether or not we're still in playoff contention. Yeah,
I couldn't believe Derby getting beat the other night.
Well, that was a surprise, and I suppose in some respects that helped us because Derby are sitting in 6th place and we're 6 points behind them. So there isn't a big gap, but it is very, very congested there in the middle of the table. So there's a couple of big games at the weekend. We've got Leeds playing Villa, which should be quite a good game on the Friday night, and then on the Sunday it's Birmingham Wolves, which is
be a nice fiery game. Yeah,
and again, I'd be very surprised if we see anything other than a waterway win there.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Steve, I know it's a long way out in that, but the Championship, as we said last week, is starting to get a bit of an idea of who's going towards the playoffs now. But who's going down?
Well, I think Burton are at the bottom, and I think they're going to struggle. I mean, they had the lowest crowds, they got the lowest budget, and they've lost a few now in a row, and I think they're struggling. They pick up the odd point here or there, but ultimately I just don't think they've got the squad that's going to keep them up this year. Other than that, you know, Sunderland are there, but I think they'll probably just about claw their way out. So it is going to be tight. You know, there will be a lot of teams in and around the bottom sort of three, but I suspect, as things stand, I think Burton are probably going. Birmingham are struggling. You know, in spite of their managerial changes and the money they spent, they just seem to can't sort of get it right at the moment.
Okay, and Aston Villa still cruising.
Aston Villa still up there. I'd say they've got a big game at Leeds tomorrow night, which should be a big game for both teams. And Leeds have had sort of 2 wins in the last 3 matches after their sort of dismal run. So they're sort of hoping a win could sort of propel them back into a playoff place. Yeah.
Steve, on to the Premiership. You know, we're going to discuss the relegation odds. Who do you fancy to go down in the Premiership?
Well, I mean, on sort of recent performances, I mean, West Ham are just looking very poor to me. They just can't seem to sort of find the right sort of style of play. And last night, their heads obviously went down sort of a couple of early goals. And they looked, by the end of the game, they looked...
I know they missed a penalty, you know. I turned over just to see the penalty. Pickford made a good save, but did you say once that went down, the heads dropped? You think Swansea are certainties?
I think, that's what happens. I mean, they've conceded more goals than anybody else. The goal difference is worse than anybody. I mean, a few weeks ago, you'd have said Palace looked sort of nailed on, but they're sort of, fighting now under Roy, picking up results.
Yeah. So Swansea must be in trouble, Steve.
Sorry?
Swansea.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. Well, that's it. Are we clear, Budge?
Yeah, Steve. The only other Huddersfield Town. How do you see? They're struggling to score goals, especially away.
I think they're very game, and they put up a sort of a good effort against Man City. But I've just got a feeling that they're going to get sucked into that bottom 3 very, very soon. Bournemouth are finding it difficult this year as well. So you've got. They've always said you've got like 3 leagues in the Premier League. You've got sort of effectively the top sort of 6 or so, then you've got sort of the bottom 6, and then the rest are all fighting for sort of 7th to 13th place. And it won't be long before I think you'll find the teams in those places, and they don't change much. Yeah. I think the big surprise, Paul, is obviously your boys. It's very disappointing that they away so quickly.
A very, very bad month when you consider. We'd gone and beaten Dortmund and we're looking so good, and we went from 2nd to 7th, which is shocking. And as the boss said, we can't concede the first goal. Every game we concede. West Brom, Arsenal, Leicester, Dortmund. We always concede the first goal. It's not good enough.
And again, if you look at the squads, Tottenham, in spite of a very able squad, didn't strengthen compared to the others.
Yeah.
So it's no surprise you see the 2 Manchester clubs with the money they spent and the quality of the players that they brought in pulling away from everybody.
Steve, I wouldn't say pulling away. The top team definitely. But the top team, I was just speaking to Budge earlier. They shouldn't have won at Bournemouth. They shouldn't have won last night. And they shouldn't have won another game. That was 6 points dropped. Take that, instead of 3 wins, there were 3 draws. All injury time wins.
Yeah, I think that's sometimes you make your own luck.
Correct, you earn your luck.
Looking at the stats, it looked like they had a lot of chances. So but they're that sort of team. They can score at will whenever they get the opportunity. So I think you say the top 2 seem to be pulling away, but again, everything's still to play for. I mean, that 3rd and 4th spot are obviously crucial.
It's not. It's the 2nd place is not cast in stone. I'm telling you. I watched them against Brighton. United always look good when they play the bottom sides. But we'll see. They're doing well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's all exciting and it's hotting up.
Yeah. All right, Stevie. Thanks very much for your input. We'll speak to you next week.
Pleasure. Bye.
All the best, Steve.
Bye-bye. All right, there we go. Stevie B. Steve Braham from the UK. Keeping us up to date with what's happening in the papers, what's happening everywhere. Let's just talk quickly on the appointments. Is Pardew...
well, they say it's 99%.
Yeah.
So he's had meetings with the board. They're quite satisfied.
How does Big Sam get a bigger contract than Pochettino and Simeone? Amazing. Simeone...
Desperation times at Everton, that's why.
Yeah, but Everton are not a desperation club, are they? They might be at the moment.
They hadn't won last night, they would have been.
Yeah, but the point of the matter is they had intentions of being a top top club.
Oh, they are. It's nice club, but
yeah. Let's go ahead and see. All right, then. Let's just go through the results. But on Tuesday night, Leicester beat Spurs 2-1.
Yeah.
Spurs were woeful first half. Second half, they slaughtered them. They should have got 4 goals. But well done to Leicester. Their 2 players scored outside at home. Watford against Man United. Yeah. At one stage, Watford on top, then suddenly they went 1-2-3 down. They came back 3-2.
Paul, when Matic went off, that was a game changer.
Yeah,
he's big. If he don't play against Arsenal, we're in trouble.
Yeah, so I looked vulnerable, if I can use that word.
Well, we played the 3 centre-halves, which I think is the right way for us. And
Rojo struggled a bit?
Yeah, but he hasn't played for ages.
Yeah, he's rusty.
He's solid.
Yeah. Okay, and then Brighton, Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I just saw the highlights, Paul. Brighton a little bit unlucky.
Were there highlights?
A couple of set pieces.
Okay, West Brom. Well, they've picked up a couple of points now.
Well, they were 2-0 up.
Yeah.
And Newcastle fought back.
Newcastle nearly won it. I was watching, Newcastle played well away from him. Wednesday, Arsenal...
once they got the second goal.
Correct. Huddersfield just fell apart.
Goals.
Yeah, they fell apart. Chelsea, I think, if they'd got their cross onto Boney in the 86th minute, a free header, could have been a different story, but they have to win at home, Chelsea.
Yeah, good team,
Chelsea. They chased the boss out the stands, the ref.
Yeah, they was crying about a corner.
And he was going on and on. They said, you're out of here.
Quite right.
Go back to Italy. Okay, Man City, again. I feel sorry for Southampton.
Yeah, they played great. Well, I only saw it was in the 15 minutes either side because I watched they had a bet on Burnley, so they will watch that game. But, they just keep fighting and fighting. But
did you see that winning goal? But just 95 minutes are up. Where is he going to play on his left foot?
It just amazes me, Paul. Yeah, that's the...
Did you remember Vertonghen against Mahrez?
He's only got a left foot.
He's only got it. It's going up to half-time. Make him go right. He bends it from their world-class goal. They let this guy do it as well.
Paul, that's why they don't do anything in England. I mean, in the Champions League, the English teams, because those top teams have a central midfield player who analyses all the players that he knows. Sterling's only got a right foot.
That's it. And,
but good goal.
Good luck to them, and they're doing well.
They're going great.
They've all got a degree of vulnerability, Bournemouth, Burnley march on. They're higher than Spurs.
Disappointed in Bournemouth.
Were they?
Yeah, they were terrible, non-existent. 2-0
at home, it's a bit of a fortress. You saw when Man City went there.
But Burnley had a hard game against Arsenal.
And then
they come back. Yeah, this excuse about 2 or 3 is garbage.
But when you got the World Cup, if you got the World Cup in England, you got your round robin. Every 3 days you play. Then you got quarters, semis. That's excuses, Burnley... Sean Dyche
manned up and had a go.
Sean Dyche. Stoke, Liverpool, great player, the boy they brought on. He got 2 goals.
But the whole game changed. I listened to the half-time where somebody went past the goalkeeper, was it Diami, and he got brought down. It was a straight red card because he would have scored.
Yes, it was a red card.
So that changed the game.
It was a red card against the goalie. I saw it, and it was right on the edge of the box. It became a free kick. That was the right call. I looked at that in slow motion.
It's a red card.
He was a last man, red card, 10 man, different story. But they're very good going forward. Mane had a couple of chances. It could have been bigger.
First goal well.
But what's his name? Salah. He's as quick as anything. Very good player. And then Everton, West Ham. What a way to go back from Moyes.
It was 2-0 and the signal came on the phone. There was penalty. So I went across. Terrible penalty. That would have made it 2-1. Then the game would have been on. But once Rooney got the third, great goal when you see it.
Class act.
Well, he's playing. You've got to play in the midfield.
He must have 6 goals already. They bought him. He must have 6 goals at least. Okay, that's that. And then the Premiership standings, just quickly touch on them for those of you who don't know. 40 points in cruising Man City, 32 Man United. And then you go down to Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Burnley and Tottenham. Tottenham on 24 and Chelsea on 29. So it's taking shape. And at the bottom, Crystal Palace, 9 points.
Yeah, slowly fighting their way out of it. Won't be easy. But,
Swansea.
No, they're in serious trouble. Can't score goals.
Stoke, West Brom, West Ham. Those teams also, as Steve said, you get sort of sucked in there and you can't get out.
Yeah, that's the problem. You've got to win games.
Now, this I find very interesting, but it's the relegation betting. Because as much as we can't have a bet on who's going to win the league now, because you're going to get very extreme short odds on Man City, and it's going to be hard to beat them. 1-8. Now, to go down, Swansea 4-10.
Yeah, they were even money 2 weeks ago. I nearly dived in, but I don't like these I can't wait till March for the money.
That's right. We need our money. we turn it over. We cash flow boys.
Cash flow boys. You're right.
West Ham even money to go down.
Yeah.
Huddersfield 12-10.
I think that's a good.
Crystal Palace pushing out 15-10. Yeah. West Brom 22-10, and Brighton 4. Brighton won't go down.
Brighton won't go down.
What I've seen. Stoke and Newcastle. Stoke, Newcastle, Bournemouth 6-1. So if there's any team you think is going to go out, Now's your time to get involved.
12-10 Huddersfield.
Spurs, what are they? Okay, PSL midweek.
Yeah.
Okay, Supersport United, beat Ajax Cape Town.
It was on last night, yeah. 1-0. You know, getting beaten in the Confederations Cup final on Saturday was a downer. And they never played well. They drew 0-0. TP Mzembe beat them. Yeah, you always get worried, you know, you get the bounce factor. But they're a good team. They score goals. And I think them and Sundowns for the league this year.
Okay, and then the CAF Confederation.
Yeah, that was a Saturday game, Paul. They just didn't perform on the day.
0-0. Mozambique won 2-1 aggregate.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. PSL staying. Now this to me is the most interesting league I've seen. To me it's the most chaotic because if you're playing out of Africa or out of South Africa, you can miss a couple of games.
Yeah.
If you have a look at this budge, Supersport have played 6 matches and the top team have played 12.
Yeah.
How does
well, they played the Confederations Cup.
Did you drop 6 points away? Sundowns.
Yeah.
But what I find interesting, let's pick a middle of the log side, Amazulu. Amazulu are in 9th. There's 16 teams in the log. Amazulu are 5 points off top. They've got a game in hand. They're also 5 points from going out.
Yeah, Bidvest Wits, yeah.
Bidvest Wits, who will never go down, are 9 points. They're 5 ahead of them, and they play the same amount of games.
Yeah.
Sure. Who's going to win the league? Between those two, you said?
Yeah, I just think they can score goals.
Yes, that's it.
For the last 13 PSL fixtures, how many draws?
We said Chiefs wouldn't win the league. We said Pirates win the league. Pirates might put a bit of egg on our face.
Can't see it.
11
draws out of the last 13 league games in the PSL.
Sure, that's not good enough, Budge.
Unless you're back in the draws.
Yeah, who does? Right, Budge. Premiership. Here we go. Let's have a look. There's some interesting games. Chelsea 1-5, good price.
Should be, you know. I try to invest lunchtime kickoff. Yeah, Newcastle, you know, Raphael, try and set it up top, but Chelsea are coming right. Hazard and Morata.
My wife's going to this game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, her and
Alonso. And
no,
mate.
if she sees him, she'll go and have a chat with him.
Should be Chelsea all day long.
Yeah, but her and Ian Mitchell are going. He's a season ticket holder there. So they're going to the early game. That's great. Brighton, who are playing very well.
Yeah, well organised. Liverpool away from home are more dangerous than at home because teams have to have a go at them when Liverpool are away.
They don't concede too many at home.
No, but I fancy Liverpool. I think there'll be plenty of goals in that, Paul.
Everton, Huddersfield.
Well, the way Everton last night, Sam, it just seems to big for them. You know, Huddersfield, I think the last 6 away games they haven't scored. They scored 9 goals in 14 league games.
Wow.
You know, Everton, I think it's Everton easy there, Paul.
Leicester?
Well, you know, Leicester played well against your beloved Tottenham.
The first half they were very good.
7 away games, 1-4, drawn 2, lost 1. Only team that beat them, Man City.
Man City.
You know, third best away. That's a funny game. Leicester, the way they played against Spurs, you'd fancy them. But that Burnley, they just have a knack of hanging in, and hanging in.
They don't concede too many.
No.
Budge, the Swansea weren't that bad yesterday away.
But you've got to try and attempt. You can't just park the bus.
Yeah. Well, what do they do? What do they do here, Budge?
Well, I think they've got to have a go. This is a relegation game. It's what Stoke do. Yeah. Stoke are just a couple of points off the relegation as well. So, of the two teams, you've got to fancy Stoke. They've got better players.
Yeah.
You know, I like Stoke are the two teams there.
All right, let's look at the next game. This is a tough game. Even though 17, Watford, I was very impressed with them against United.
Yeah.
I was impressed with them against Chelsea.
Yeah. At home, Paul, they've got to come at you, and they've had a couple of injuries.
Yeah.
You know, they were knackered towards the end against Man United.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't got many players.
They could easily have pulled a 3-0.
Yeah, Troy Deeney could have come back, but
he scored one, Troy Deeney. I think it's a tough hurdle, but Spurs have to win.
Spurs will beat them.
I think Spurs will beat them. Spurs have got 1 point out of a possible last 9. As I said, they've gone behind. The boss told them, you go behind, they're making changes.
I think Spurs will win easily.
If they start Sissoko, I ain't watching. I ain't watching, I promise you. Drunk, I was a better player than him. I cannot believe how bad he is. He's so scared on the ball. He doesn't want to do with it. Yeah. He can't pass from A to B. We've got players there. Bring in those 17-year-olds. Bring in Edwards. Bring in Lamela's back.
Yeah, well, he'll start.
He'll start. If they play Sissoko again this year, geez, I'll bomb the capital. So I'm hoping they put it together. But West Brom, Crystal Palace?
Well, you know, I like Crystal Palace are the two teams.
So do you. They play a brand of football. They rolled Spurs.
Yeah, they've got a good attacking players too. That's the hard Townsend. Our boy Benteke is back. West Brom, they were never ever scored many goals, but defensively they were always sound. They're conceding a lot of goals lately, West Brom.
They were 2 up the other day.
Yeah, 2.
But Palace, I'm with Palace.
Yep.
Arsenal, Man United.
Well, you know, Arsenal's last 14 home league games, 1-13, drew with Man City. You know, it depends on Matic to me. If Matic plays, we've got a chance. Matic doesn't play.
Where's Mata?
He's on the bench. He won't start. You know, but Herrera comes in for Matic. We're under pressure.
When are they going to start the big boy, the Satan?
Zlatan, I don't think it'll be this week, but he's there.
He likes the big games. He's a good player. Listen, so this will be a good game.
Yeah, hopefully.
What time is this? Saturday?
Main game Saturday night.
Oh, lovely, lovely. And then Sunday we go look at Bournemouth have to start putting it together. Southampton have turned it.
Yeah,
they've turned it.
Our bets.
They've turned it. They were stiff against the league leaders.
Well, the two set pieces, you know, Van Dijk looks like he's playing for a contract, a January move.
Yeah.
You know, he played well last night.
He's a good player, Budge.
Yeah, Bournemouth disappointed. I'm on Southampton big time.
And we're going for West Ham, all out.
West Ham.
20-1. I haven't seen that for a long time, Budge.
Sure, it could be 50-1.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, they look. Yeah, some of them look like they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
You know, and the way City are going.
Are they going to throw the big boy in up front, West Ham, and try and rough up a few centre halves there?
Andy Carroll. Well, you'd hope so, but that's the only way. But it's only a set piece where they can do any damage.
Yeah. Telcom knockout final. Budge, straight up prediction. Who we putting no money on?
Well, you know.
No, straight up. No.
This game be a 1-0 game.
To whom?
Both teams. I think Wits will win 1-0.
There we go. Okay.
You know, it's played in Kwamashu, Princess Magogo.
What's that like? A stadium like? I haven't been there for years. Nothing wrong with it, eh?
It's a smallish stadium.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't play at Moses Mabhida, make it 10 rand to go in, fill the stadium, but they've gone
make
to
it 5 rand, and let the guys streaming in their droves. But they're gone there, they'll charge top dollar.
No, I don't think they can, you know. But Celtic have got a big support. They come down in their hordes. Punya Sela, yeah, they'll come in their masses.
Okay,
it'll be a tight game, you know, cup finals normally are.
Princess Gogo. What time is that game, Budge? Any idea?
No, it's 6 o'clock, I think.
Okay. Right, Budge. Your bets will be coming back. You're coming right back to yourself. You're the king again. We've got the crown waiting for you at the back. You found some. Couldn't QPR win. If QPR win, we clean up.
3 out of the 5, yeah.
Yeah, we clean up. Right, let's run through.
You know, I think Chelsea should be too good for Newcastle. The next game's obviously a Bundesliga game. Hoffenheim have only lost one of the last 25 home games. RB Leipzig
but you went
come
for
right.
3.
Yeah, RB Leipzig are second. Coming right, that RB Leipzig. I've got Everton win and draw.
But just before you talk about the Bundesliga, still a very good league?
Well, you know, Bayern Munich got beat by Borussia Mönchengladbach last week, so it's thrown it back. I think they're 3 points ahead of Leipzig now. But,
so it's still a difficult league?
It's still a tough league. Yeah, there's no money in the league other than Bayern Munich. No one's got any money. It's a selling league. Yeah. You know, it's a league where I think 51% of all the clubs are owned by the supporters. Right, so no one's got any money bar Bayern. Yeah. You know, we did this yesterday. Everton. You know, if you want to change it and halve your perm, bank Everton to beat Huddersfield, especially the way they played last night. But I had to do it on Wednesday, so I went Everton in the draw. Atletico Madrid, they played 3 forwards. Normally he plays 2 and 4 midfield players. He played Griezmann as a midfield player the other night.
How was he?
They won 5-0. They got lucky with a couple of goals, but still they looked a lot more adventurous.
Griezmann's a great player.
Yeah,
I'd love to see him in the Premier League at Spurs.
Okay, they'll be too good for Real Sociedad. But I've gone the field with Bidvest and Celtic Cup final.
So you're fence sitting?
And Real Madrid, they've been terrible of late.
They've had a bad month too.
Shocking.
Them and Spurs, bad months.
Yeah, but they I've thrown the draw in against Atletico Madrid, 2-1-6.
Okay, the next lot.
The next one's the English one. I've banked at Liverpool, 3 fields, 3 bankers. I've gone the field with Leicester, Burnley. I think Stoke will beat Swansea. I think your beloved Tottenham will beat Watford. Yeah. And I've gone the field with West Brom Palace and Arsenal Man United, 162.
I must make sure I watch the game. Is it a Saturday game, Watford?
Saturday, yeah. Be 5 o'clock.
Lovely. So no phone calls, please. Anybody out there? You'll get a hot retort from me if we're losing. Yeah. Anyway.
Soccer tenure, I've gone bank at Chelsea and Liverpool. I've gone win and draw Everton and Huddersfield. I've gone the field with Leicester against Burnley. I've banked Stoke to beat Swansea. I've gone banked Spurs, win and draw Crystal Palace at West Brom. I've gone Bidvest in the draw. I've gone the field with United at Arsenal, and I've gone Bristol City, win and draw at home against Middlesbrough, 288.
Wouldn't game 9 have been a good game 9 on the list? Arsenal Man United have been a good early game.
Well, you know, they've got
you've got to get
Chelsea
the alcoholics from Man United into town.
Well, they've got to get the boys from up north.
Do they still have that Man United thing when Swivler was alive?
4 hours before every game, anywhere in the world.
I went to Swivler to watch Spurs play Man United years ago. Swivler and I went, and we had to meet at midday because the game was at 4
o'clock. Yeah.
The guys have 10, 12 pints before they get down there.
When I first met them, Paul, and they came, they played Man United. Man United played Orlando Pirates at the rugby stadium. Yeah. It kicked off at 3 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, when I fetched the boys from the hotel, we met at Billy the Bums.
Straight in.
Straight in. There were people waiting already. I said, you know the rules.
But he told me they've got a dispensation. If they've got a lunchtime game, say 12:30, 8:30, there's a special pubs that open for the supporters.
They can go. You can go to hotels either, but they do have. It's just
alcoholics, a lot of them. Okay, let's move on. All right, and then Palace and West Brom, you've gone Palace.
Yeah, no, that's the Soccer 13. I've gone. I had to side with Arsenal. I think Matic will be missing. You know, I've gone Arsenal in the draw. I've banked Liverpool. Everton win and draw at Huddersfield. I've gone Leicester win and draw against Burnley. I've sided with Stoke and Tottenham to win. I've gone Palace win and draw at West Brom. Second page, I've gone Fulham win and draw at Brentford.
Fulham, they've got to win.
I think they'll get a result.
Local derby, he says.
Yeah, I've gone Ipswich win and draw against Nottingham Forest.
But your Forest still doing all right?
Yeah, they're hot and cold. They've won 9 and lost 8. You know, Ipswich beat Derby away in midweek. Yeah. Good game. You know, and at home they're dangerous. I've gone Sheffield United.
Are they still up there?
Well. Yeah. You know, Sheffield United are going well. They've gone win and draw Sheffield United at Millwall. Our bank at Preston, we've got all our defenders back. We should be too good for QPR. Sheffield Wednesday should be too good for Hull City. And I've gone Sunderland win and draw against Yarb Stumps Reading. 460.
Okay, now the part that I like. The best bets, but let's go through these.
I'll keep you happy. I think Tottenham will beat Watford.
So do I.
They've won the last 7 times they've met. And I think Southampton are great value to beat Bournemouth, you know, 18-10. And I've gone over 2.5 goals in the Brighton, Liverpool and Everton, Huddersfield.
Liverpool will always give you goals.
You know, at 16-1, you know.
Huddersfield never score, but let's hope you're right.
Well, Everton, the way they fired last night, I know I did it yesterday, but at Goodison, the boys will be fired up. Yeah. And Huddersfield have got to have a go, Paul.
Yes.
Otherwise, they're going to get dropped into that relegation battle. Championship, I've gone Bolton to beat Barnsley. I've gone Sheffield Wednesday to beat Hull City, and over 2.5 goals in the Ipswich Forest and Preston QPR game. You know, QPR got no defenders, so they're going to have a full go according to Holly Mourinho.
Okay.
So 16-1 again. Yeah, the win and draw 5. I've gone Burnley to get a positive result at Leicester. I've gone Crystal Palace likewise at West Brom. I've gone Fulham win and draw at Brentford. Villarreal, my yellow submarines, they're away at Leganes. I think they'll get a good result. And Borussia Mönchengladbach, they're at Wolfsburg.
But Las Palmas still struggling?
Struggling, yeah. They got a big game this week. They play Real Betis. They fired the manager last year. He's at Real Betis. Oh. So they play the big game Sunday night. So a bit of rivalry there. So the 5 worked out at 1800 to 200. Both teams to score. I've gone Brighton, Liverpool. I've gone Everton, Huddersfield.
I'm hoping Huddersfield can score.
Yeah,
that's my worry.
They've got to have a go. They can't sit. Ipswich Forest and Preston QPR, 2,000 to 200. Yeah.
All right, now let's go for the omelette.
Yeah, the omelette which we caught last week, fortunately. But Valencia to beat Getafe. I've gone Girona to beat Alaves. Gone over 2.5 goals.
Both games, or just the second game?
No, over 2.5 goals in the Atletico Madrid, Real Sociedad, and both teams to score Atletico Bilbao, Real Madrid. The first 2 games, Valencia and Girona both have to win. It worked out 11-1.
Collis King?
And the Collis King, I've gone Southampton to beat Bournemouth. I've gone Derby to beat Burton Albion. I've gone Sevilla at home to Deportivo La Coruna. We need them to win. Inter Milan play the Flying Donkeys of Chievo Verona. I've gone Schalke to beat Cologne. And Monaco to beat Angers, 3,200 to 200.
Looks good, Butch.
Well, let's hope so, Paul. Yeah.
Last one standing. We always end with that.
Standing. The boys will be.
The boys. And a lot of boys would have used Chelsea. I'm just looking at what looked to be the plum spots.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Chelsea are the plum this week.
Yeah, like Man United were last week. Chelsea will be the plum at home. So if the boys come for it. But I don't think everyone. I think some people have used Chelsea in their 6.
A lot of people have. Yeah, they'll all get the WhatsApps. I've sat and done it. I'll send everything out.
And then are they all through by sort of 10 o'clock Saturday? Have you ever had to phone someone up, or have you ever had a situation where a guy hasn't come through?
Yeah.
If he doesn't come through, he gets the highest team.
It happened on Saturday.
Who was that?
It was a guy, Russell Birdie was away, big mates with Ray Lovett and Gavin Lane.
And he forgot?
And he was on Arsenal, because that was a team he got lucky. Last minute penalty.
If he wins, there's going to be an objection.
Well, you know, those are the rules.
Yeah, the rules, you play by the rules.
And he understood. I said, Clint, this is the story.
That's right.
I said, those are the rules. Rules are the rules.
Clinton, okay, well done. So that's it, Budge. Yep. Well, there we go. Make sure you stay on side.